Good afternoon. My name is Eric Schuettpelz, and I'm a curator and presently chair of the Department of Botany at the National Museum of Natural History. Next slide, Gary. Before we get started in earnest today, I wanted to point out a few details concerning the webinar. First, it features live closed captioning. To turn this function on or off, you can click the CC button at the bottom of the Zoom interface. Second, if at any time during today's event you have a question, you can submit it using the Q&A box, again at the bottom of the interface. The Q&A box is also where we'll share any relevant links or resources. Those of you who may have forgotten to register for tomorrow's event, that'll be a separate link, can find the link to register there in the near future. Questions for the speakers may be answered in the Q&A box directly during the talks or during the live panel discussion following the presentations. So with that, welcome to the 18th Smithsonian Botanical Symposium. This is our very first virtual event, and while I certainly wish I could see all your smiling faces in person, it's truly wonderful to be able to include so many of you from around the country and around the world. As you know, the focus of this year's event is on plant symbioses, and we'll hear about current research exploring the intimate and long-lasting relationships that plants have with bacteria, fungi, and invertebrates. Next slide. We have a fantastic lineup of 6 speakers, 3 of whom will present today, following some introductory remarks and the presentation of the Cuatrecasas Medal. The remaining talks will be tomorrow afternoon at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll plan to make all the recordings available online sometime in the near future. The Smithsonian Botanical Symposium is a fundamental collaboration between the United States Botanic Garden and the Department of Botany at the National Museum of Natural History. And I'd like to thank everyone on staff at these institutions who has helped to organize the symposium, especially those on the symposium organizing committee who are responsible for selecting the topic and speakers and for developing a plan for the event. Gary Krupnick, in particular, who serves on this committee, has taken the lead in executing this plan and continues to work behind the scenes to ensure everything runs smoothly today. Adriana Reynolds assisted with some of the financial aspects, and Danielle Duran has provided some key logistical support. With that, it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Rebecca Johnson, Associate Director for Science and Chief Scientist at the National Museum of Natural History, who we've asked to provide some opening remarks. Rebecca.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us today to kick off the 18th symposium for the the 18th Smithsonian Botanical Symposium, presented jointly by the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History and the US Botanic Garden. And I believe we have over 200 people registered, which is extraordinary. We have already over 100 people online, and I believe we will have up to 25 different countries participating, which is just fantastic. And we will explore everything symbiosis in the plant world. We're delighted to co-host this symposium with the United States Botanic Garden, and together we consider ourselves the botanical partners on the mall. And obviously this is a little different in times when we can actually see each other, but we're still here waiting for when that opportunity arises. And together we work towards our shared mission to educate the public about plants and their importance to people and the environment. Plants, like all organisms, exist in collaboration and competition with each other. And that sometimes feels like management, but it's very apt for how important plants are in the food web and our ecosystem and to all of our lives and well-beings in general. So here at the National Museum of Natural History, discovering and describing plant life across all environments is at our core. We build on this discovery science to understand and interpret the evolutionary origins of plants, including how humans are affected and have already altered plant diversity. Sadly, we were not able to hold the 2020 symposium due to the pandemic. However, 2020 did present perhaps a unique opportunity for all of us to reacquaint ourselves with the natural world and re-inspire our wonder and curiosity as we got out and about in our own environments. The research that we do in the Department of Botany here at Natural History is about understanding the fundamental relationships of our botanical ecosystem, discovering and describing our flora and placing them into a bigger picture of evolution and adaptation. That's particularly important as we have such a changing climate, unfortunately in some cases human-induced. The Department of Botany is also home to the United States National Herbarium, holding nearly 5 million specimens collected from around the globe. And while our doors have been closed for the past year, thanks to our Botany digitisation project, we've continued to digitise thousands of specimens and make them available to the online community. This is an achievement that we're extremely proud of, and I want to especially acknowledge Sylvia Orley and the Conveyor Belt team, who through their passion and quite amazing stamina through the last year, have helped us approach a fully digitised herbarium. So stay tuned for an announcement on that in the near future. That's a pretty extraordinary achievement, not to mention the accessibility of those specimens to our community, even though our doors have been closed. So research still goes on. I'd like to also acknowledge the great organisation of our own team here at Natural History, led by Eric Schuettpelz and Gary Krupnik, in collaboration with that of Susan Pell's team at the United States Botanic Garden. It's a really great program that you have in store for the next 2 days looking through. So today's symposium, plant symbiosis, the good, the bad, and the complicated, sounds absolutely brilliant. And before that, I think that we're very much looking forward to the announcement of the winner of the 2021 Cuatrecasas Medal, an extremely prestigious and fitting recognition to contributions in the botanical sciences. Perhaps next year we really can join our botanical partners on the mall and have some in-person celebrations. Until then, I wish you a wonderful and symbiotic 2 days.
The José Cuatrecasas Medal for Excellence in Tropical Botany is named in honor of Dr. José Cuatrecasas, a pioneering botanist and taxonomist who spent nearly half a century working at the National Museum of Natural History. Dr. Cuatrecasas had a distinguished career devoted to systematic botany and plant exploration in tropical South America, especially in the Andes, and this award serves to keep vibrant his accomplishments and memory. Department of Botany and the U.S. National Herbarium present this award at the Smithsonian Botanical Symposium to a botanist and scholar of international stature who has contributed significantly to advancing the field of tropical botany. This year, we are very pleased to present the 18th José Cuatrecasas Medal for Excellence in Tropical Botany to Sebsebe Demissew. Professor Demissew earned a Bachelor's of Science in 1977 and a Master's of Science in 1980 from Addis Ababa University, and then his PhD in 1985 from Uppsala University for research on Matenus, a genus of Salus stracei in tropical Africa and Arabia. His PhD training was sponsored during the early stages of the Ethiopian Flora Project, and he later, from 1996 to its successful completion in 2009, provided leadership of the project involving 91 scientists from 17 countries. This 8-volume work covering 6,000 species of ferns and flowering plants with 12% endemism is one of the few finished African floras. He has authored or co-authored 250 scientific publications and is the authority for 94 new plant names and 13 families. His career at Addis Ababa University has continued as a faculty member and dean, and he is presently a professor of plant systematics and biodiversity and executive director of the Gullele Botanic Gardens, which is a joint venture of the university and the city of Addis Ababa. That botanic garden is the first of its kind for Ethiopia and was opened to the public in 2019. It has an education and conservation mission. He has had a leadership role in international organizations and notably as Secretary General from 2000 to 2003 of EATFAT, the Association for the Taxonomic Study of the Flora of Tropical Africa. In 2016, he was awarded the Kew International Medal for internationally recognized work aligned with the science and conservation mission of the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew. The Cuatrecasas Medal Selection Committee took special note of Professor Demissew's many accomplishments as a scientist, tropical botanist, and educator. We noted his lifelong work to document and conserve Ethiopian biodiversity with his rich endemism, including leadership of the Ethiopian Flora Project and the National Herbarium. He has been a role model for internationally recognized excellence in the botany of tropical Africa. Congratulations, Professor Demissew, and we wish we were conveying this medal to you in person. Thank you.
Dear participants of the Smithsonian Botanical Symposium, I am hugely honored and humbled to be a recipient of the 2021 José Cuatrecasas Medal for Excellence in Botany. I think Ken has definitely introduced me very well, so there isn't really much to add, but I would like to add a little bit of what has really not been said. I think once we have completed the flora of Ethiopia, as was already discussed, I also and my colleagues actually contributed to the writing up of the flora of tropical East Africa, flora Zambezia, and flora of Somalia. So our knowledge is not really limited to Ethiopia, but it also expanded to other countries in the region. But I also had an opportunity to really work in different parts of Africa, from South Africa to Cameroon, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya. So that was a really rich experience, and we've done. And in addition, what we are really doing in Ethiopia is Addis Ababa University is one of the oldest institutions, universities in Ethiopia, but the 10th in rank in Africa. So we really offer graduate programs mainly to botanical students from the region, but also from about 50 universities in Ethiopia. So we also really do training in neighboring countries such as Djibouti, which does not really have big botanical institutions. So we are really trying to help. We also try now to establish a botanical garden in Somaliland. So that would be a contribution that we would really do for Ethiopia and for the region. Finally, what I would, because most of the listeners, maybe you really have contacts, research collaboration mainly with Latin America. Now I'm going to entice you to really look for Africa. As I said, Addis Ababa University is one of the oldest, and we actually have over 48,000 students and over 221 graduate programs, 74 of which are PhD with some specialization. So I would like listeners here to encourage you to really initiate collaboration with Addis Ababa University, and we would really be happy to collaborate. We also do a lot of things in terms of vegetation studies. Ethiopia is such a diverse country. Going in terms of geographical altitude, we have areas that are really that are as low as 125 meters above sea level, to areas that are 4,530 on the mountains. So anybody interested in geography, botany, geology, we would really like to encourage you to collaborate with us. And I'm really keen to initiate the collaboration in any area of your interest. Thank you very much.